How you doing? My name is Larry Flenoid from Springfield, Missouri. I'm running for Missouri House Rep in the 132. I just recently visited Ironton, Ohio, which the people out there was cool, straight cool. But I promised Terry Nip that I would give him my story so y'all can learn a little bit more about why I do what I do. Well, not why, but what led me to do what I do. Because it's easy for me to tell you why I do what I do. It's because I ain't got nobody, and I know what it's like to have nothing. That's why I do what I do. That's the easiest thing in the world, you know? So, this is my story straight from my mouth, man. Why I do what I do. I mean, what led me to do what I do. Larry Flenoid, born 5/18/79, St. Louis, Missouri. Just like any other city kid, you know, I was bad. Probably one of the worst in my family, but I took more ass whoopings than anybody in my family, and I definitely took the worst ones. Sometimes when you get older and you look back at things, you realize that sometimes the ass whoopings wasn't about you being bad, but it was about a deep hate for you. You know, I had things happen to me that probably most people have and just don't talk about. Sexually molested, you know, I've been mentally abused, physically abused. I mean, I've been through it, you know. But instead of using all those things as an excuse, I just kept pushing. I just kept pushing. I just kept pushing. The main reason I kept pushing, man, is because when you ain't got nobody, who you got to run to, who gonna help you, you know? I ain't gonna say it was easy, because ain't nothing easy, especially nothing worth getting, man. My life ain't never been easy. I don't know, man. When I was 15, I was taken away from everything that I love. My family, my friends, some of who I never seen again, you know, because they either passed away or just other things. But I lost the love of my life. First love I ever knew, my first everything. Because my dad felt like I was turning into something he couldn't control. But the only person I went against was him, because I ain't like the man that he was. I adapted in Springfield, made the best of it. I learned from my friends. I learned from a difference. I learned from, you know, a different culture, different people, you know, and tried to make myself better every day. I ain't gonna say I succeeded at that every day, because I have had my failures, you know. I have put myself into things that I shouldn't have. I have failed. But the only thing I could do as a man was become better from those failures. From those times I put myself in a position, make that right, and try to do the best that I can. That's all I ever do. It's the only thing I know how to do. You adapt to the life that you're given. And without having anybody, you learn on your own. Sometimes self-teaching is, let's say, hazardous, to say the least. But that's never stopped me from the things that I've been doing for my community since I've started them. 10 years ago, I was a homeless drug addict. And what made me the lowest thing on the totem pole was that I had my daughter in tow with me. One day I was getting high in the garage. My kid pulled the curtain back, saw me getting high. And that hurt me so bad that I called my sister in Mississippi, and I told her that I had to get away from here, Springfield, because I was going to end up dead or in jail. Next day I was on a bus to Mississippi. When I got to Mississippi, first thing I did was try to get a job. It was at a Wendy's. You know, fresh off the bus, first time in town. It shocked the manager so much she hired me right there on the spot without putting in an application. I never lied to anybody in Mississippi while I was down there. Told them I was on drugs, you know. Plus, my family wasn't gonna let me hide that anyway. It's always been used as a mark to make me look bad. But anyway, I worked at Wendy's until I got a better job at Two Men in the Truck. That's where I met my partner E, my brother, and Whistler, Jonathan. Man, they showed me a love that I never felt before. Like, for real. Not like that, but they was my homies, man. They never looked down on me for the reasons that I was there, that I was a homeless junkie, you know. Never called me that. Only two did not never call me that. I mean, it was different. It was something that I needed, man, and it helped me change. 18 months later, my son's mother started making trips to Mississippi, started picking my daughter up on weekends, acting like she wanted to be a couple. Her brother killed himself one April night. Since me and him was close, making a video, telling people my story about why I do what I do. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Doing good.
So who's that guy that you take care of?
My little brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, how old is he?
40.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. And here you go, because I'm running for Missouri House Rep in this area. So this is my stance. You know, that's what I'm standing for. If you're in agreement with it and you're a registered voter that lives in the 132nd, what?
I'm a felon.
Oh, you off papers? Then you can't register to get your voting rights back. They don't tell you that one, do they? Exactly. But that's what I'm here for, to enlighten my community and teach them. So I can register to vote right now. You fill it out, you know, I turn it in tomorrow. I'm dead serious. And then you can sign my petition because you'll have the registered voters back before I turn it in to get counted.
My name is Mariah, by the way.
Larry Flenoid. Nice to meet you. Here's a pen if you want to do that. Something to write on. I just stand over here, finish making my little video real quick, because I promised somebody I'd do this. How you doing? Yeah, so, well, I can't, damn, what was I at? I don't know. But anyway, like, oh, my son's mother. So, her brother killed himself. Me and him was pretty close. The next day I was on the bus back to Missouri, you know. Went to thought that me and her was gonna be together, you know, all of that. Got back to Missouri, found out she was cheating on me. You know, I left her crib in the middle of the night because the only way I could see my son was to be at her house, so she was in control. Talked to me how she wanted to, you know, how that go. I'm not making no excuses, just telling you the truth. But anyway, I left in the middle of the night, got me a room from rent from this old man named Rich, and a week later, well, this was a Sunday night that I left. She was married that Friday. A week later, I got papers in the mail saying that they was gonna terminate my rights to my son because I abandoned him. I never abandoned my son. He was taken from me. She filed papers in a different town that wasn't too kind to people of my skin color, to say the least. I had an attorney. I really couldn't afford him because I was coming back from being on dope. I was coming back from having nothing. You know, at that point, I still had nothing, you know, so it got to a point to where I had to pay my rent or pay the attorney, but still he hadn't done nothing, hadn't filed no motions. I still couldn't see my son. I didn't have no court date. It was totally different than when I went and fought for my daughter. But anyway, they took my son from me because I chose to pay my rent. I cried for about 5 hours. When I was done, I started my nonprofit, Real Love Equals Real Change, because I wanted to put myself in a position to where, first off, I wanted to prove people wrong about me, that I wasn't anything that they've ever heard about me negatively. I wanted to put myself in a position to where that judge or anybody on his level couldn't tell me no again. I wanted to help others who might be going through the same thing that I went through, unjustly and unfair. The first project I did was 417 Day 1, April 17, 2018. What 417 Day is, it's a day based off of a day in St. Louis called 314 a day, but it's Springfield's area code, which is 417. I host it every year on April 17th because that's 417. And it's a community event that I put on for the community where everything is free. I have bounce houses, DJs, food, games, entertainment, and I invite other businesses and organizations out from around the community and abroad to give back. I don't charge anything to be in the park. If I ask for a donation to kind of help offset the finances I pay, because I basically do it all by myself. I mean, I ain't complaining, but just that little help would help. And everything is free to the community. That way everything is equal. Nobody is to have any vendor sales. It's all about giving back. I've hosted gun classes because one of my friend's son killed himself with a gun. I've hosted domestic violence events. This year would have been the 5th 417 day. So it's an annual thing now. And I'm out here fighting. Thank you. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
Thank you. Have a good day. And so we out here, man, just doing the thing, I've had unfortunate circumstances that set me back, set me off track. I've lost friends. I've lost family. But the one thing I've never lost is my integrity and my heart and my drive to become better. Like I said, I'm a self-learner. When you ain't that smart, sometimes you don't make smart decisions. But I'm man enough to admit it and try to make right by it. One of the greatest things I got is my bounce back. Man, I've lost everything and got everything back again. Lost everything, got everything back again. I mean, when you ain't got nobody, man, you just got to do what you got to do. So, what up, pimp? So, I don't know. After I lost my son, I met a woman. She had 4 kids. I got real close to. We used to take them to school, pick them up from school. So, as we were walking them to school and stuff, we found a lot of drug needles, in the area around Fort and Grand in Springfield, Missouri. People know about this. It's a high drug activity type area, Ain't one of the best ones. It would be considered hood. But anyway, we're finding drug needles, man, and no city leaders were saying anything, and it was just like everybody was being hush-hush about it, just like letting this shit happen, just letting the community go to waste. And I kind of got fed up one day. It started as a joke with my ex-girlfriend that, when Trump ran for office, that I might as well run for alderman. That became real. I decided to run for Springfield City Council 4 years ago. I was taken off the ballot by a fact of opinion from the city manager with a rule that nobody had ever heard of and was never used before. I turned in my ballot. You had to have 200 signatures to get on the ballot. I turned my ballot in with 278 signatures. They called this was a Tuesday, last day that you can do it, because, I'm new to the game. I don't really know all the rules and regulations, so sometimes you got to learn the hard way, and this was one of them. They called me that Friday, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's video on Facebook that shows it all. They qualified me with 213 signatures. Once it got out, I guess the powers that be here in Springfield, Missouri wasn't too kind to that. I was running against Richard Hollis, who at the time I knew nothing about, but throughout the time after, he became what I consider my friend. If you don't consider me the same, it is what it is, but he helped me in ways that nobody else had, and supported me like nobody has. So if he's just doing it just to do it, I still consider him my friend now. But anyway, I was running against him. This is Martin Luther King's birthday weekend now. We know no city government, no state government, no federal government offices are open. None. Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock, I get a call. It's the clerk. She tells me that they had a fact of opinion come down from the city manager about my signatures. since I had 14 that matched my opponent, Richard Hollis, and he turned his ballot in first, that my signatures didn't count, which knocked me down to 199, and I was taken off the ballot. This was a rule that nobody ever heard of. It was never used, nothing before. And I know for a fact that people have signed other people's petitions, but now because it was me, it was an effective opinion from the city manager about my signatures. After already being qualified, it hurt, it hurt, it hurt. I made a little stink about it, a little noise. Everybody called me a crybaby, whatever it is. But in the end, man, I let it go. I took it as a win. I took it as a win because I felt like it was a fear that some people in the city had of the way that I was uniting the city. Because I stand for everybody. Everybody is equal, everybody's the same, and everybody got the same goals and opportunities. We just find the different routes to get there. You know what I mean? The powers that be have us fighting over things like race, religion, sex, sexual orientation, sexual preference, When it all boils down, man, we either poor, we either looking to come up or make a way for ourselves, or we just don't know how to start the route towards real change. That's why the name to my nonprofit at the time was Real Love Equals Real Change. Because I felt like once you instilled that in people's hearts, that if you can find what you really love, you're really willing to change for it. And that will help not only you, but your community, your family, and yourself become better. That's what my goal is to teach that with a real love comes real change. Because that's the easiest, and once you find the thing that you love most, that you're willing to change for, things just kind of come easy, or it's not as hard. Let's just put it that way, because ain't shit gonna ever be easy. It's just not as hard, because when you really love it and you're willing to change for it, you're gonna put your all into it. And that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to be a family, trying to build a family. I was trying to be a father. I was trying to be a good leader. So I was putting my all into it. It ain't never been great, but it's been a lot more than others. And I'm definitely out here fucking trying. I started adopting streets, cleaning streets, man. I even hosted a thing where the candidates had to get out. The candidates running for office, most of them were Democrat at the time, because I guess since I was black, they just assumed I was Democrat. Nobody ever asked me. But they came out and cleaned up neighborhoods, walked the neighborhoods, knocked doors. You could tell they was uncomfortable because it was things they never had to do before. Well, if you want to vote in my community, you got to come out and show up for it. I pay for kids to get their haircuts. 300 boys, 300 girls. 500 massages to mothers for Mother's Day. I gave 19 mothers gifts for Valentine's Day. I've hosted a unhoused community members drive, giving them the things they needed going into the winter. I've hosted shelters in the schools that I'm trying to get for what you'll hear about later. I used to work for a moving company, so I gave away numerous appliances, furniture, anything to community members that needed it. On Sundays, I give away 21 pizzas to unhoused community members in our area. I met a guy, an unhoused community member named Byron. Byron talked about change like he wanted it, man, and in my heart, I felt he did. I let Byron move into my garage, got him clothes, got him a job, all during the start of COVID when nobody else could. I mean, Byron had more shit than I did. Byron just showed one night, man, that he didn't want it. Hurt me bad. Hurt me bad. Then comes the day, man, George Floyd gets killed. The world goes into a stir. Just like any other city, Springfield became involved. My homie at the time showed up at my house with his wife. He was like, hey, you want to go to this protest? And I'm like, what protest? I don't know nothing about no protest. He told me it was about the George Floyd. You know, I laughed. I really did. And for those involved, dude, I'm sorry, but I laughed at y'all. Because at that time, the protesting that was going on was standing on the side of the road with a sign, just like a picket line. How many people, by show of hands, me included, has just drove by a picket line not paying no shit of attention to it? I didn't feel that was effective. And at some protests, it'd be different organizations, different groups, different people, all screaming different things, so you never got to the bottom of what the protest or even the point was. I apologize again. That's all I can do. There came a point we were standing out there watching the protests, you know, that I really don't know what happened, but I walked out to the street. I saw a friend of mine, Vicky Walden. I asked Vicky to give me her flag. She had a flag that had Black Lives Matter on it and the Pride flag. I asked Vicky again, give me your flag. She said, Larry, what are you about to do? And I told her, I'm finna make some fucking noise for my community. I stood in the middle of the street by myself for about 10 minutes. Cars driving by me. I didn't care. It hit me. You know, it's time for my community members to be heard in a way that they never had before, because right now we're expressing real anger and real pain, and it's time for things to change. After a while, of course, some of the youngsters, you know, they joined me out there. Before you know it, the street was shut down in the middle of Battlefield and Glenstone on a Saturday afternoon. If you're from Springfield, Missouri, or any of the other surrounding communities, we basically shut down their whole entire financial kick, the economy, for the whole afternoon. The mall, the Target area, I mean, the south side of Springfield, where we shut it down at, it's part of the rich community. The people that, not even rich, but just well off. They got money, you know what I mean, and everything like that. So life's just a little bit better over there. We shut it down. Shut it down. Somebody passed me the bullhorn. That one right there. And I became a leader. I mean, I said what everybody was wanting to say, what everybody wanted to hear. It wasn't about one race. It wasn't about one people. It wasn't about the pain that I had, or it was about us. It was about how we are failing ourselves by not going out to vote. Because when you don't vote, you silence yourself, and you make yourself not matter. And most importantly, you give away your freedoms. Every vote that you don't make because you feel like that you don't matter or your voice goes unheard, you give the opposition 2 votes against us. And like I said, you silence yourself. You make yourself not matter. And you give away your freedoms that all of those before us, whether white, black, you know, during the Civil War, during the beginning of this country, that all of them had died for. You give away that freedom. You do it to yourself. This is our fault. Because we either don't get out and vote. It ain't about giving their campaigns money. And I can understand that for a while I wouldn't vote because I didn't know who to vote for. A lot of our candidates that's in office now, not the ones that's about to start running, but the ones that are in our office now, they've been riding off just being irrelevant in the communities that need them the most. They don't fight for us, they don't show up for us, and they don't speak out for us. That was one of the things during that protest, that rally that I spoke on, is that we need to start electing us to represent us. People who look like us, people who live like us, people who gonna stand up with us, people who love like us. That's what we needed to start representing us. During the protests, you know, the rallies and everything, everybody asks one simple thing. They ask one thing to leaders, you know, or people who were leading a lot of things at the time. What are you going to do afterwards? What are you going to do afterwards? Or being smart with it. What are you going to do when the youngin' stops? I always had an answer. I'm building programs for kids to help teach them the basic livings of the fundamentals of living. From cooking, cleaning, gardening, sewing, fixing things around the house, like home, maintenance, teaching them how to do oil changes, tune-ups, change tires. It's my basic living program. I'm trying to put it in development. I'm trying to get a grant or anything to help get me a building started. I was about to start it with the Boys and Girls Club here in Springfield, Missouri. At the same time, I was doing an Easter egg hunt where we were giving away 2 $650 money orders to community members to help them pay their rent. It came out that somebody, released a rumor that I was a pedophile. No proof, no nothing. But I did lose, the backing of the Boys and Girls Club with my basic living program, and I lost a lot of support around the community because of it. We live in a world to where you are guilty until proven innocent. That just off guilty will kill a lot of your dreams, man. Kill a lot of your hope, kill a lot of what you believe in and what you're trying to do, your accomplishments, your goals. Set me back. Then came, I don't even want to speak about it, but I'll just say one of the worst incidents I had in this community with women saying things about men. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I continue to do what I do. Help community members who would take my help. Work with those who are willing to work with me. Try to make my community a better place because it ain't about me anymore. Or you or anybody my age up. Or anybody grown. It's about those kids, those creations that we made, those coming behind us. It's about making this world better for them, not us. Fuck us. It's about the programs, the things that I'm doing. It's about proving that Springfield is the blueprint for the world. That the things that I do can be used in any community. From the community service, the basic living program, the 417 day, the gun safety classes, the unhoused community members event, teaching others how, the importance of politics and voting and inspiring others from our community to become other things like lawyers, judges, doctors, police, firemen. Anything. It's nice to have rap artists. It's nice to have athletes. It's nice to have actresses. But we need more people in positions that will help us in life. We need to start teaching our community members about these things, helping them learn about politics, helping them learn about the law, helping them learn about the importance of having us. And when I say us, I'm not just saying black people. I mean us as a community, poor, white. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, fuck your color, fuck your religion. I ain't gonna say fuck who you choose to love, who you choose to identify yourself for or sleep with, because that's you. And there ain't no fuck that, but it's about us as a community. As on my level, in my community, we poor. It's about us as poor community members to start making a change within ourselves to do what those in front of us didn't do. And that's teach each other, help each other, be there for each other, love each other enough to where we grow and act as community, with unity in all caps, because you can't have community without unity. It's time for us to band together and say fuck the powers that be and fight against them. And not with violence like they expect us to, but we fight by teaching those in our community to run for office, teaching those to become judges, teaching those that it's cool to become police, maybe even those that lead the police like sheriffs and captains and lieutenants. We need more of us in positions that write the law and enforce the law and over-enforce the law. We need more of us in positions that take care of us, whether health, medicine, or fires. We need more of us in important positions. We don't need no more rappers. We got enough of them. I can name about 40 in my community alone. We need more people in powerful positions to help us benefit, and move on in life. We need more people to learn things about the laws and how laws are written and enforced, over-enforced, to help us. We need more people looking out for us at times when we need them most, in medicine, healthcare, in courtrooms, when your house on fire, when you're under attack. We need to stop killing each other, whether physically and verbally, as people. Black, white, and I'm sorry, but black people got it worse. But we need to stop killing each other. Stop tearing each other down. Be there to support each other. Stop trying to look for a discount from those that you know, or a freebie. We're not asking for a handout, we're asking for a hand up. That's what we need to be for each other. We need to become family, because we all in this together. We all dealing with the same shit. We are all out here suffering. And those that do control things don't give a fuck about us. Those elected to represent us don't give a fuck about us. So when you ain't got nobody, it's up to you. And with a real love comes real change. So then I ask, how much do you love yourself? How much of you are you willing to put into this fight to help us with change? How much do you love those that you created? How much do you love those you call family, friends, and neighbors? How much do you love the city you from that you call your community? How much do you love yourself to achieve a change that's not only going to make you better, make your community better, and make your family better? The worst thing you can ever do in life, man, is tell yourself the worst things about you. As I was coming out of my drug addiction, I had to do that. I created a wall where we wrote on it every day. And it got to the point where everybody was writing on it. And I'll kind of show you a part 2 of that right now. I've tried to kill myself. I've been down. I've been depressed. I've had things happen to me that, here's the room. These are all positive messages from friends, inspiring me to keep doing what I'm doing, because even though I'm out here inspiring others, just being me, just doing the right thing, man, and living by the code of my creator, and that's being the best that I can be for me, my family, and my community. What up, Punchy? I'm out here doing the best that I can. And sometimes my best ain't good enough. I'm not going to say I'm the most perfect leader, but I am the most devoted. I am the most sincere. I am the most dedicated. And the only reason I call myself a leader is because when it's time to spend money or somebody going to put their life in danger, I'm the first one to step up. Other than that, we walk hand in hand, side by side. I am not your leader. I'm not your boss. I'm just a community member that's fed up with the way that my community is being treated. So I'm stepping up to create some fucking change. As a leader, that's what you do. You help inspire others to go with you, because no fight can be won alone. I'm taking my beatings. I'm taking my shots. I'm still going, but it's times I lose faith, I lose energy, and I can use some help. So I'm trying to inspire others to, man, do what I'm doing, or help me. And I don't mean financially, I mean spiritually, emotionally, because those are the two things that I take the most beating with. I'm often called something that I'm not, mostly by people don't even know me. I'm always this, I'm always that. I'm never defended by friends and family. They let it ride like they agree with it. Sorry. This year, I started cutting off people who were using me, taking advantage of me, and didn't really care about me. I ain't got no friends and family right now. But I have a few people who still rock with me, and thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get the name and names because sometimes I forget. But if you honestly care about me and got my back, know that I love you with all my heart. And I'm going to do this for you. But After the protest, after the rally, after me going to the Klan compound, everything that happened with that, I decided I'd run for mayor. My own people tore me down. Told me my campaign was a joke. I wasn't going to win. Basically, that I wasn't shit, wasn't going to be shit, and I might as well give shit up. My own people. The people I stopped the city for. People who I gave a voice to. Community I support in ways that, even off the book, even on the book, I meant, will blow your mind. I never tried to toot my own horn. I mean, I'm just telling simple facts. This is me. This is the truth. It's all on my Facebook. Go and check it out for yourself. Things were, you become the enemy number one. Will kind of make you back away. My neighbor, well, at the time he was my neighbor, Bill, moved into my house about 3 years ago. When I met Bill, it was a simple neighbor-neighbor relationship. He called me things that I never really picked up on. Not because I'm not that smart, because bring it and give, you know. But I didn't know that Bill, let's just say, didn't really like black people too much. One night I had a movie night. I was stood up by my ex and her family. So I went and invited Bill and his family over. That night, man, we got drunk. We watched movies. We ate good food. We had fun. Bill is now my brother. One of the largest protests in Southwest Missouri that I led. Bill led it with me. I was standing on his truck. It led everybody. Bill hugged a woman of color, of darker skin color, you know, because she was emotional. I mean, just his whole heart, his family's heart, it's changed. Now we family. So we decided to put a picture up. Him holding the Black Lives Matter flag, me holding the rebel flag, us saying, it ain't about the symbols, it's about changing each other's hearts. Not only is this part painful, it's confusing. So, if we're fighting racism, if we're fighting to be equal, if we're fighting to unify the country, why did I get tore down so much for doing exactly that? Somebody answer that question. I've embodied beatings for people putting words in my mouth, for people trying to make a situation out to be something that it's not, for people outright lying, but mostly for people making me out to be things that I'm not, never have been, or never will be. I've taken my beatings, my lashings, my whoopings, my whatever you want to call it, my timeouts. I've taken mine publicly because my life is public. It's all over Facebook. The ugly, the good, it's all there. That's what you call transparent. That's what you call being real. And that's what you call not running from anything, because I'm always willing to have a conversation. What I'm not willing to do is be cussed out, told how to be me, or words put in my mouth. If you're willing to reason, sit down and listen, understand, and not hold judgment, I'm willing to sit there and have any conversation you want. Hopefully we can reach common ground and make this world better together. That's what the goal of a conversation should be, right? The basis of the fundamentals of everything I do is based on love. With real love comes a real change. This world has lost love. We live in such a me society. Selfishness. Attacks without even trying to reason or have a conversation and understand where a person's coming from. The cancel culture. People don't like it, so it needs to go away. We live in a world to where people don't want to be labeled, but we got more labels than anything. We live in a world where people sit around and make excuses rather than get off their ass and do something. We live in a world where fingers are pointed, not at the person it should be. Us. We live in a world of all blame and no accountability. We live in a world where people listen to the loudest voice yelling at the top of their lungs and lying because right now that's the only voice they're screaming. People are so hungry for a change that they're out here believing people that's fraud, even though it's been proven that they're a fraud. And that's where this whole chili cheese lies fiasco kicked off. I stood in the street over the death of a white man, Caleb Slay. I stood for his mother, Tina. Why? Not because I was challenged to stand up for a white man, but because he was a community member. No. Again, this is where I get confused. If we're fighting for equality, if we're fighting human rights, if we're fighting for unity, if we're saying we all matter, why was I the only person out there for that white man? Besides, like, 3 members off my team and 3 members of his family. But I was the only one in the street. If the fight is for all of the things that I mentioned, why was nobody else there with me? Where were the other leaders? Elected, not elected? You know, where were you? The community members, you know. We had all these new organizations up, Black Lives Matter, you know, all them. Where were all y'all? Seems like every time this gets real, the activists do exactly what they say they do, act. They act like shit ain't never happened. They act like everything's fine, the community's great, we're all moving up. They act like we should stop. We should stop screaming. They act like we crybabies, that we always screaming. They act like I'm public enemy number 1. I outed chili cheese fries, not for fame, not for views, but because he was saying some wicked shit about Tina's son and Tina personally. And I recorded it so Tina can actually hear it. Because like I said, throughout time, people that I've helped or, been there for, we've developed a friendship. Tina was my friend. She was my community member. She was somebody that supports me. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna let you do that in my community. I showed the world what chili cheese flies was. A fraud, a fake. Somebody in it for money. Like this a TV show. It ain't. It's real life, bruh. I'm gonna continue to tell you that. I'm willing to have any conversation you want to have, chili cheese lives. Show you what a real leader is and should be. Because a real leader don't only lead, he serves, he listens, he pays attention, and he fights for that community he in. He don't run across country asking people for money. He don't end every conversation now. And with 1999, he definitely don't act. He do this shit every day, chili cheese lies. And I'm willing to show you. I'm willing to debate with you. I'm willing to talk to you about the values that you don't have. The things that don't make you a leader. And why you need to go and sit your ass down right now. Because you're messing it up for us. Anyway, those are the things that has been influxed into our community that's hurting real leaders. You got fakes and frauds out here claiming that they this and that can do this and that, but they pouring a whole distortion over what us real leaders are doing that don't nobody know who to believe no more. People don't know who you fighting for. On me personally, I always get that I'm Black Lives Matter. I always get that I'm NAACP. I always get that I'm a Democrat or a thug or any of the other slanderous, accusational, attackful, any of the other bullshit you want to call me. I do believe Black Lives Matter more than a lot of people. But I am not a member of that organization, never will be, pimping. And I got things that I can say about that organization, but I don't feel like making people mad right now. I'm telling the story about what led me to do what I do. Because again, I tell you, why I do what I do, because I feel like I ain't got nobody. And I know what it feels like not to have nothing. So I'm trying to be there for people, and I'm trying to help them achieve something. I'm often told that I'm things I'm not. I've been a woman beater. I've been a pedophile. I've been sexually harassed, but none of this has ever been true. Walked away from it. No scars, no bites, no nothing, but it isn't like I say, we live in a world where you're guilty until proven innocent. Now I'm running for Missouri House Rep. Because again, like I said, I just got this little bone in my body that won't teach me to quit. Sometimes I cuss the creator, I cuss myself, why are you still doing this? These people don't love you, they don't care about you, they just use. I'm there every day, like any true leader should be. Question yourself, question, are you doing the right thing? Like, dude, I battle within myself about that every night, like, should I quit? Should I keep doing it? I just don't know how. I don't know how to stop being there for people that need me the most. I don't know how to stop making myself better. And I don't know how I'm going to ever see my son again if I fucking gave up, if I quit, if I let them beat me, if I didn't prove that I was exactly what they didn't think I was, if I didn't show them that I wasn't what they think I was. How could I ever say I love my son? How can I ever say I love my community, myself, my family? How could I look myself in the mirror knowing that I could have stood up and done something and I ain't do a motherfucking thing? I ain't finna feel that way. I give it all, man. I give everything that I got. Everything that I got. So my son know I fought for him. That I changed for him. And I just changed myself, that I changed communities. I changed people. I changed states. I miss you, Rylan. There ain't a day that goes by that I don't think about you, son. I think about you every day. How you look, how you sound. If your little feet still stink. Do you even love me? Me and Lyric miss you so much. I started all of this for you. Everything that I do, man. The failures that I make, the accomplishments that I gain. They for you, son. You, your granny, your uncle, your auntie, all the people that really cared about me that I lost. I do this for you, your sister. But I wanted you to hear it from my voice, son. There ain't a motherfucking day that goes by that I don't think about you. That I don't wonder if you safe. I don't wonder if you having fun. I don't wonder what type of athlete that you are. Or you funny like me. I love you. You were taken from me unjustly. And everything I'm doing is to get you back. So in that, I'm running for Missouri House Rep in the 132, son. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. Things are going to change on that state level. I'm starting a landscaping company called Grassroots Love, LLC. I'm hiring veterans in honor of your uncle, Dustin, and the other veterans that are out here hurting, that need help. Because how can we ask those to go fight for us, our freedoms abroad, if we're not going to take care of them here at home? I loved your Uncle Dustin. I'm going to fight for him. My partner Kenny, you know, all the people that I know that served in the military, I'm going to fight for them, son. So I started a landscaping company to hire the homeless, the felons, and the ex-military. I started a t-shirt company. We make our own clothes. You know, I started a photography company for people that can't afford to get pictures. You know, school pictures, family photos. Basically do them for free, son, because I call it practice. Just so I've never asked for anything that I do. I don't expect nothing back. I just give. And my main goal is to prove them wrong about me, son. I miss you so much, Rylan. All of this is for you, man. And with you, the motivation that you give is helping change the communities. It's helping change people. It's helping change me, your sister, your brother. It's helping change us all. And in the end, I'm going to see you again. Anything worth getting ain't easy. So, it's my story. That's why I do what I do. This is why I am who I am. It's all about getting my baby boy back. It's about uniting my family. And in the process, I'm helping my community become better. I'm learning to become a better me for my community, a better leader, a better parent, a better friend, a better uncle, a better role model. I'm just learning to become better. And I'm inspiring people along the way to do the same things or, you know, follow the same path. The one thing that I always do ask people when they sit and listen to me or we have a conversation is that one of my goals in life is that I try to help at least one person, a total stranger, every day. In that, I help 365 people a year. 365. Sometimes 366. Sometimes it could be 2, which bumps that up to 700. You just all know. But if I have the goal to help one person, one stranger every day, that's 366, 365 lives I touch. That I help change in a positive way. That I give a positive reflection on life to. Now think if everybody did that. I leave by asking you, where your heart at? How much do you love yourself enough to change? How much are you willing to put into this change? How can you become better for not only you, but your family and your community to help them all become better? I love you, Lyric, Oliver. I love you, Hulk. And this for everybody that I lost, everybody that stay with me, and everybody that cares about me. We gonna change the world. Larry Flenoid, that's me, man.